It's time for the Douglas Coleman Show. Mr. Smooth and Savvy is joined by guests from all walks of life, from the entertainment industry to authors to political and social commentators, the famous and not so famous, the controversial and the light and fluffy. We have it all. Now, here's Douglas Coleman.
Well, hello there. Heidi ho there. Welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show. It's me, as always, Douglas Coleman. How are ya? We got Jabril Mack here today. Jabril is an award-winning animator and writer. He has an animated series out called The Weeklings, spelled Weeklings, and it's a comedy series that's starring the days of the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and so forth. We also have a music submit track to play. The track is called Lately I Don't See You Anymore by the Sidleys, and it's a great track. Please check out their website and their social media for more great tracks from them. Some of you may have seen the Facebook post that we put up regarding the Douglas Coleman Show now going twice weekly. We think this is a better move. It gets more shows out faster. The shows will be a half an hour rather than 1 hour. So they will be out on Mondays and Fridays at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. We're getting lots of music to play and a lot of guest requests, which we're very happy about. So I think that this is going to be a better way to accommodate all of those requests. Plus, it gives you Douglas Coleman Show twice a week to listen to, rather than having to wait until the following week. So we're very pleased. We will be starting right now. This is the Friday show, the brand new first Friday show. So with that, here is the Sidleys, and Lately I Don't See You Anymore.
Save the best
You're listening to Mr. Smooth and Savvy right here on the Douglas Coleman Show. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Hi there, this is Stuart Epps, record producer. This is my story about Elton John, working with him in those early years, going back to 1967 at Dick James, all the amazing tours, those first recordings, going through to Rocket Records, and it's an amazing story about his incredible rise to stardom and my part in that. So look forward to taking you on that journey. So here we go. Yeah, and to order this great audio CD, please just email me at stuartepps@talk21.com. That's Stuart, S-T-U-A-R-T, Epps, E-P-P-S, at talk, T-A-L-K, 21 in figures.com. Stuart Epps at talk21.com. Email me and I'll give you all the details for buying this brilliant audio disc. Thank you. Bye.
DJC Music and DJC Productions are pleased to announce a brand new website. We have started a listing website for radio show hosts as well as potential show guests. This is a meeting site where hosts and guests can come together. Show hosts can list their show and types of guests they're interested in booking. Potential guests can list their talents, bio, accomplishments, or anything they feel makes them an interesting radio show guest. There are no recurrent payments, only a one-time $5 listing fee. Your listing will stay up until you decide to cancel. Previous guests of the Douglas Coleman Show are welcome to submit their guest listing free of charge. Go to radiohostsandguests.com. That's radiohostsandguests.com.
Tired of living in a culture of lies, fake news, and alternative facts? The Pro-Truth Pledge reverses the tide of lies by calling on politicians, and everyone else, to commit to truth-oriented behaviors. The pledge asks signees to commit to 12 behaviors that research in behavioral science shows lead to truthfulness, such as clarifying one's opinions and the facts, citing one's sources, and celebrating people who update their beliefs toward the truth. Private citizens who sign the pledge get the benefit of contributing to a more truth-oriented society. Public figures get more substantive rewards for signing the pledge in the form of positive media and public recognition. The pledge crowdsources the truth by asking volunteers to evaluate the statements of public figures who sign the pledge. Take the pledge, demand that your elected representatives do so, and encourage your friends to take it at protruthpledge.org.
Are you an independent musician? How would you like to have your songs played on hundreds of radio stations just like the one you're listening to right now? Join MusicSubmit.com and we'll promote your music to radio stations and blogs in your genre. It's free to set up your account, and we guarantee your music will be considered for airplay by radio stations worldwide. Why not sign up today? It's free. MusicSubmit.com. Radio promotion for indie musicians.
Hi, this is John Morgan, production supervisor for DJC Productions, and you're listening to The Douglas Coleman Show.
Okay, please welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show, Jabril Mack. Hey, Jabril, how are you?
I'm doing so good. How you doing?
Doing very well, thank you very much. You are an animator, yeah?
Yes, so I'm a cartoon animator, been drawing my whole life, and just put out a new series called The Weaklings, new animated series. So I'm really excited about it.
Is that what happens? Were you drawing since you were a little kid and then you just never stopped? Is that basically what happened?
Yeah, so I don't know about you, but growing up, everyone would always draw, right? Like in class or in math lessons, you know, you just doodle on the side of your paper, right?
Yeah.
I was a guy who just kept on going. Like, you know, once everyone stopped drawing and I started paying attention, I was like, nah, guys, let's keep on doodling. And I did. Did
somebody tell you when you were young that, hey, you really have a passion for that, or you have a particular talent for it? Because usually somebody can spot that in kids when they're pretty young. Was your parents or one of your teachers or something say, hey, you know, you're really good?
Yeah, my parents were pretty supportive for a long time. And it wasn't until, because I was drawing, but I wasn't good. But once I started getting actually good, my mom was like, wait, hold on. Maybe you can keep on doodling because you got something going here. like I would always make comic strips for the kids at school and, sell them on the playground and do whatever I can to get my art out there. So I'm pretty sure I stood out from the other kids when it comes to the artistic ability. Now for the academic ability, I can't talk about that.
What was the first thing that you drew that you thought, hey, this is pretty good?
I remember I was famous in third grade for being able to draw really cute puppies.
Ah, okay.
So I would charge people $0.25. I would draw them a puppy. It was the same dog. I'd make it a Dalmatian, or I'd color it brown. I'd color it, golden retriever, something like that. And I made a killing off that. I'm pretty sure, 25 cents per drawing. I made a good $5 one day. And,
wow.
And, so I was balling out.
Oh, that's definitely good. Because I remember in art class, I was never very good at it, although I liked it. But, they would start us with things like drawing human hands or, and I always, or even a body, like they would have a picture and you would have, I never did live models. I never got that far. But, it was hard. It was just to really get it to look right. Abstract, I think I could do more more easily, but to try to do something that was lifelike, something that actually looked like what it was supposed to look like, it just never worked for me.
I was actually the same way, which is why I went to cartoons, because cartoons don't have to necessarily be 100% accurate, right? You can exaggerate stuff and make it fun as opposed to make it realistic.
Well, that's true. So I'm looking at this picture of you, and you've got, what is that thing? It's a board that you can actually draw right on, and then the file gets saved to the computer. Is that how that works?
Right. So instead of using paper, now animators are drawing directly on the computer. So it's a tablet that you can use. It works just like a pencil and paper. I have a little pen, and I can draw using different programs, and it goes right over to the computer. So I haven't drawn on paper in years, but I'm still making cartoons through this process.
Do you have to do every frame by frame? Like, I remember watching an old film of the Disney animation studios back in the like 1930s or 1940s, and they literally had 200 guys in a big, huge room that were just drawing frame after frame after frame. You don't have to do it like that anymore, do you?
Luckily, no. With
good.
technology now, we don't have to draw everything over and over again. I mean, I've seen those clips too, and I feel like I have so much respect for these old school animators because they really had to. It's 24 drawings per second of animation. So, a Mickey Mouse cartoon is 5 minutes long. So that's a lot of drawing, right? But luckily now I can copy and paste, so it's not as strenuous.
So how did you get started with the Weaklings? Because I'm reading through this, and it sounds like you just put it up on YouTube and it just took off, yeah?
Basically. I mean, it was a little bit more complex than that. But The Weaklings is, an animated series starring the days of the week, right? So the characters are like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And they all have personalities based off how each day feels, right? So Friday, coolest guy ever. Everybody loves him. Saturday is really fun and exciting, and of course Monday, no one really likes her. She's either, amped up on coffee or just tired all the time, right? So I was inspired by my friends in college. We all had different personalities, and somehow my animator brain was like, okay, we're kind of like different days of the week, and I thought to my friends, hey guys, let's make this cartoon. So we spent 6 months making the first episode. We put it online, and instantly the kids liked it, so we started making more and more. And now we're on our, I guess we're 3 or 4 episodes in. We do episodes and videos, and we're posting all the time. So I'm really excited that the fans have been able to find the show and have been able to enjoy it as well. Because, artistically, you never know if people are going to like it, right? But luckily this time, people actually liked it.
So what do your characters do? I mean, what is... I haven't watched one of your cartoons. I'm sorry. I just didn't quite get around to it.
It's okay.
But
it's okay. So they're basically roommates who just moved to this new bright city of Calendar City, which is a town for holidays and anything you would interact with on the calendar. So it's about this group of 7 friends who are doing normal stuff, everyday stuff, but in an exaggerated way. It's like the everyday life of a day. So we have an episode where Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday are having a boys' sleepover party, and April Fool's Day is invited. And of course, he's a prankster, April Fool's Day, so no one wants to fall asleep because they're going to be the first one to get pranked. And it's about them trying to stay awake throughout the night so they don't become a victim of April Fool's Day. So relatable stuff, but in a more silly kind of way.
All right. Well, that sounds kind of cool. What is the age group that is targeted for this?
Definitely kids. Our age group is around 6 to 11. It's not necessarily an educational show. It's just funny. It's fun.
It's fun
and pretty
okay.
goofy. Like I grew up watching SpongeBob, so I kind of want to hit that same market where obviously kids can watch it, but I'm in my 20s. I like to make stuff that I like to watch and laugh at. So for everybody, but mostly for kids 6 to 11.
Okay, so is there any message for the kids, or is it just silly fun kind of stuff?
It is silly and fun, but I think that there's a different episodes of different stories might have different messages. We have a episode where Monday kind of realizes that no one likes her, and she recruits Friday to give her cool lessons, basically. And through the course of the episode, she kind of realizes that being herself is what makes her unique and different. And kids have really responded to that episode because everyone feels different every once in a while. You know what I mean? So they're able to kind of be like, okay, Monday is bad. Monday's just a normal day, right? It's not bad or good. It depends on how you look at it. And that's kind of the overall thing of the show is every day's different. Make the most of it.
I don't know if you are old enough to remember or have seen old reruns of Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon. And
right,
and then they had the Fractured Fairy Tales. They had a whole bunch of little cartoons within that group. And the one thing that was really interesting about that cartoon is that it was great for kids, but it was almost like there was two dialogues going on at the same time. Because when I've watched that as an adult, there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek kind of humor that kids wouldn't get. But when you watch it when you're in your 30s, 40s, or 50s, you get it. So it's like funny for everyone. And
yeah,
that's real kind of genius to be able to write like that. Yeah.
That's the beauty of animation, right? It can appeal to everybody.
Right.
So if everyone's watching, for me, some of my favorite memories are sitting on the couch watching shows with my family. If I'm able to bring people together and not bore the parents while their kids are watching something, I succeeded in what I do. In our show, we do have some stuff like that where they're a little bit older to understand what we're really saying, but the kid will just laugh at the funny actions and stuff like that too.
Tell me a little bit about the process, because I know people may not know exactly how, this is done, how animation is put together, because it's different than everybody knows how to make a YouTube video. You get your camera, you shoot something, and you upload it. I think there's a little more effort and work involved in what you're doing. Why don't you kind of just explain the process a little bit for people?
Okay, sounds good. So when I get an idea for an episode or a cartoon or a video, it starts off basically with a script, right? Write out the dialogue, we understand what's happening, make sure the story's working, make sure it's funny. Then the actors record the voices. A lot of people don't know that the voices are done before the animation is done, and that's because if the actor makes a decision and makes the character says hi or hi, different emotions, we can animate that into it to make it even more realistic. So the actors do their lines, and then we do little storyboards, which are like comic book version of the final cartoon, and we use that to do the background, do the actual animation, and then edit it together, add the sound effects, add the music, and then put it on YouTube. Whew.
So how long does that process take from start to finish?
From start to finish, for a full episode for us, which is about 8 minutes, it takes us about 3 months.
3 months? Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So that's why it's important, to make sure the script is funny, the characters are working and stuff like that, because if you're working on it this long and you find out, by month 2 it's not working, you wasted so much time. So we try to get it as funny and as exciting as possible before we really even start the hard part, which is the animation. But for me, it's worth it because seeing people laugh and enjoy the stuff when it's done, it makes that process way worthwhile.
So how many episodes are in the can at this point?
We have 4 episodes, 4 full-length 8-minute episodes, but we have about, I think 20 or 30 shorts where we introduce different characters. We just uploaded a video today. It's about 4th of July and who that character is in this world. He's a, barbecue-loving, firework-lighting eagle who happens to be designed based on America's great icon, Guy Fieri.
Okay. All right. So, did you do any promotion for this at all? Because I think people sometimes would have a hard time believing that you just uploaded something and it took off without anybody pushing it. Did you have any PR people behind this? Or did you literally just throw it up there and see what would happen?
We definitely didn't throw it up there. I studied social media as well and kind of figured out how to get the eyeballs on it. With artists, it's great to make something, but if you make it and no one sees it, I kind of feel like it's a waste. So I spent a lot of time not only studying animation and becoming a better animator, but also studying social media and how to figure out how to get people to look at the stuff you make. So we use TikTok, we use Instagram, we use Facebook and YouTube to go where the kids are. Kids are on the internet now, and I make stuff for kids, so I'm going to find them and let them like what I make, hopefully, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because, I get a lot of people on this show that are filmmakers, that are authors, musicians, and, everybody's got content of some sort out there, and everybody is just vying for how do we get this thing to take off. And it seems to be some big mystery because some stuff takes off on YouTube and you kind of wonder why. And then the other stuff that's really good content, and it has 10 views. So
right, exactly.
You wonder if there's a magic formula. I know that the monetization algorithm on YouTube is a big secret. And nobody can seem to figure out how that works. Like how many ads. Yeah. It's a nightmare.
Right.
So I didn't know if you had some secret you wanted to tell everybody.
If I were to give any advice to anyone listening now who wants to promote themselves, I think that TikTok, it's a newer app, and I think that's probably the best opportunity for you out there. The audience isn't quite as big. It's not as crowded, so it's easier to get your stuff out there. I put the Weaklings on TikTok last year, and we just passed 250,000 followers there, and we get 5 million followers a month on there. So those are great numbers, right? That's where most of our sources are coming from. So if you get on TikTok and kind of play around with what the community's like, you can see the results. That's my number one tip for social media.
Okay, as opposed to YouTube that has just gotten too big for itself, you think?
I would say definitely post on YouTube, but draw your audience from TikTok. Everyone's on there. Also, I'm talking about the kid space. I'm not quite sure if you're making a horror film the best way to do it, but if you're doing stuff that's kind of towards the teen, younger audiences, post it on YouTube. And then use the other platforms to draw the audience to YouTube and keep them on YouTube by posting more of the content you want to do. So something that I kind of, especially with creative people, I'll just mention this. It's when you're posting on social media, it's easy to get attached to it, but you have to realize the content you're making is just designed to feed the algorithm, to get the eyeballs, to get them back to what you actually want them to watch, which is your short film, which is your passion project.
Okay.
So we can get into social media, but there's definitely some tricks and tools you can use.
Well, I think it's something that everybody is trying to figure out because, like I said, there's people that put a lot of stuff out there, and there's no logic to it. There's no logic to who's getting millions of views. I've seen some really silly stuff that people have put out there. Two guys sitting there fishing. And it's how long can you watch two guys sitting on a pier fishing? And
right.
It's got hundreds of thousands, unless they're fake. I mean, I don't know, but it's got hundreds of thousands of views and comments and you're like, wow, and then
why?
Somebody, why? And then somebody spends, $50,000 or $100,000 to make a really slick music video for one of their songs, and it doesn't get any traction at all. So, I mean, there's just no.
Right.
I don't get it.
Right. There's definitely things you can use to, like, I wouldn't be spending that much money on YouTube content because you just don't know, right? Luckily we were able to make our stuff pretty cheaply, so it's okay business-wise to keep on making these cartoons in this kind of way. But it's tricky. But the good part about it is that it's all free to get yourself out there on whatever social media you're using. 10, 20 years ago, filmmakers would dream of having the opportunity to post something and have the potential for it to blow up, right? We still do have that.
Oh, yeah.
We can't forget that.
Yeah, well, it's great. It's but it is a double-edged sword. The saying is that, well, now everybody can. The good news is now everybody can post anything they want, and the bad news is that now everybody can post anything they want. So it's
exactly.
It's sort of both ways. I did see something on your bio here I wanted to mention. After graduating with a bachelor's degree in animation from USC School of Cinematic Arts, Mack helped brands like Little Tikes and Stanley's POW Entertainment. You're the second person who's had a relationship with Stan Lee that I've had on the show, which is kind of interesting because he just died not too long ago, right? Year or two, maybe. J.D. Shapiro was one of his partners, buddy of his, who's been on the show, and he talked about Stan and what a great guy he was and a legend in the animation industry. So that's kind of cool.
Right.
What exactly did you do?
We worked on developing a couple new TV series for him, a couple animated series that didn't end up going anywhere, but it was great to get the experience. We were fresh out of school, so working with Stan Lee, obviously, like you mentioned, is a total legend, and it was the coolest experience. I don't even like superheroes, but when we found out, when I got the call from him, I was like, let me watch the Spider-Man. Let me get caught up. So it was really great. It was really fun. He was a creative genius who I think it was an honor to have the opportunity to work with him.
What did you think of him? Was he a nice guy?
Yeah, he's just like the guy you see on TV, on the interviews and stuff. Very fun, very energetic, even for, how old was he then? 80 plus.
Oh, yeah.
I remember we saw him a couple of years after that at a Comic-Con event, and he was, I was about to go back to the hotel room and get some sleep, and he was actually at 92, heading out to a yacht party. So, I'm like, okay, Stan.
More power to him.
You do you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to keep that energy when I'm that old.
Well, if we make it to that age, hopefully.
You deserved a party, right?
Oh, yeah.
At that point.
Absolutely. Well, Jabril, we got to wrap this up. Thanks so much for coming on. What's the website you want to put out so people can check out the cartoons?
If you go to YouTube and Google The Weaklings, you'll find all the cartoons. Find us on TikTok. We're at The Weaklings. Instagram, Weaklings_cartoon. And you can follow me, too. I'm at Jabrilio, Jabrillio, on Instagram. Well, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. It's fun talking.
Super. Okay, take care. Best of luck.
To the